Welcome back to Edgemont Elegance, everybody. It is Friday the 13th, June 13th to be specific, and we are here in beautiful Edgemont Village, North Vancouver, British Columbia. Why do I say where we're at? Because my marketing guy says I'm supposed to, so I do what I'm told. We have not been here since I think Wednesday of last week, and there is a ton of stuff going on. Too much to really talk about just standing outside of the house and looking at it. I mean, you can just see down the driveway here that there's a trench dug for some electrical or low voltage. We'll go check out, see what that's all about. But anyways, I just wanted to show you all of the amazing things that are happening behind the scenes as we get this house ready for insulation, which is theoretically happening next week. Let's go take a look. At the beginning of the video, I had suggested that this was electrical of some sort. Well, I can see based on the gray pipe that's coming out of the wall over there, that's actually gas. So this has all been buried, and as it gets backfilled, this caution tape will get put on top of the sand that's gonna get wrapped around this big O pipe. And so it's also been sprayed in yellow paint just to make sure that whoever digs this up in the future knows that what's underneath here is gas. Very, very important. The other thing that is also part of any sort of gas line installation are these yellow wires. And these wires are here so that the gas company and our gas contractors, I think as well, but for sure the gas company, they have a little Duomahocker where they connect it to this yellow line, and they have it looks like a sniffer, but it's really just sensing where that wire is, and that's how they will be able to locate where this gas pipe is in the future. So fun fact, coming around here. So we've got trenches going in here. This is all gonna be for future electrical, future low voltage. All of the electrical and low voltage are gonna go to the garage and make their way into the house. The one kind of gosh darn it that we've had to deal with, this window well here. When I was here not so long ago, I was noticing that there's not a lot of space between the fireplace bump out here and where the concrete is going to be if this were to get filled with, well, this form here is going to get filled with concrete. Our fearless project manager on this project, Gleb, spent a ton of time working with the district, and we've come up with an alternative where we're just going to pull that out even further to create enough space. This used to just go straight across, right? At this plane here, that one straight across. And that's what we were looking here, and there's just not enough space for egress because there's a bedroom underneath here. So we need 30 inches, 24 or 30, I think 24, to get out safely in the event of a fire. So we've now moved this out. So now we can pour this, and we'll still have egress once the cladding and everything else goes on over here. So that's already been done. We are now in the foyer, and there's not a lot that has changed here, other than we've had a ton of low voltage work underway. Sina from Next Gen Technologies is here getting the job done for us in terms of getting alarm sensors put into the doors and windows, of course, and getting speakers and ceilings wherever we're doing that. You know, we're looking really good. We have a walkthrough scheduled for Monday where we will go through and be just making sure everything is hunky-dory, but that is generally what's going on. So looking good. Let's keep rolling around and see what's going on, right? Okay, so getting back to brass tacks here. So we've got low voltage going in here. So this is gonna be Cat 6E. This is gonna be ready to go for a computer outlet right there, data, happiness. Everything else is more or less status quo, right? We're starting to just get the final bits and bobs done so that we are ready to insulate. And again, our walkthrough is on Monday as a team, so we are gonna come through here on Monday. It's Friday today. We're gonna come through here on Monday and just go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and make sure everything is where it needs to be and everything is what it should be. Because once you start insulating, it is really hard to fix it, almost impossible. So we want to make sure that we try to find all of the mistakes on Monday so that we can have our trade partners come in and fix everything up and make everything look good. I mean, one of the things that I just noticed here is that this window is sitting proud of the framing, and one might at a glance think a mistake has been made, but actually we actually want to see this, because what's going to happen is the drywall is going to butt up against this, and then we'll put our window casing right on top of this. So by design, this is supposed to be sitting inside of the wall here because you're gonna have 1/2 inch of drywall, window casing, beautiful. We've got the primary ensuite tub, it's under test. So this is just part of the process of putting in a tub and flood testing it. So we need to make sure that this can hold water and is good to go. And because of the way that this is getting finished, we actually need the tub in a little bit early. This is actually gonna have a countertop deck basically put on top of this so that you're not gonna see this, you're just gonna see countertop on top of it. So it should be pretty cool. Again, you know, like we don't talk about it all the time in our videos, but I think it's really important to point out, you know, something that sets Sprucehill apart. We have our trade partners wrap all of our hot water pipe in insulation, right? When we do this, so all of our hot water is on a recirculation loop on, I'd say 95% of our projects. And what that does is that effectively makes it so every faucet in the house has almost instant hot water. The downside is that it's constantly hot. And because it's constantly hot, it's constantly radiating heat. So during the winter, well, that's a bonus because we're trying to heat the house during the winter. And so if this is radiating a little bit extra heat, it's not the end of the world. It's not the most efficient, but it's not the end of the world. However, when we switch over to the cooling season in the summer months, if this is radiating heat, and the sunshine's radiating heat, we're just adding additional heat load for the air conditioning unit to have to try and fight against. So we have found that insulating our hot water pipe just makes the system run more efficiently and certainly makes it so that the air conditioning system doesn't have to work quite as hard. You might be wondering what the box is in the middle of the wall over here. That is for a television. So it's got 2 drops for Cat 5 in there, 2 drops of Cat 5 or Cat 6E probably, and then this will be a plug on the right hand side here, and then the TV will mount right on top of that, so you can get a nice flush mount TV and everything is behind it and you don't have wires draping around or whatever else. Looking at things up here, it is looking very clean, very organized, in tip-top shape. This is pretty cool. Because of the design of this house, we're actually able to create these little storage areas which would otherwise be just wasted space. So we designed the trusses and we thought about everything that we could do to maximize head height and maximize storage area in here, because I have never ever had anybody complain about having too much storage. Have you? So you guys are watching these videos. I see what I see, but what would you like to know what I see? How can I help you guys see or hear what's going on in my brain? Because I've been doing this for almost 2 decades and I see things that make sense very quickly and I see things that don't make sense equally as quickly. All right, so coming into one of the bathrooms upstairs, we're looking in good shape. So, you know, things that go through my brain is, you know, is that gonna be high enough, right? Is a baseboard, once the tile goes in here and everything else, will that go through? So these are the sorts of things that we'll have conversations about during our walkthrough on Monday and just make sure everything is hunky-dory. I mean, it's a little thing, but I'm a little bit annoyed that these water pipes are coming out at different heights. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10 for big deal, it's like a 1. It's just me being a fussy dude. So one thing that we need to make sure is when you're furring in a wall, you need to make sure that you fur in the top plate of the wall first. Because if we just add a furring strip to the wall and then apply the drywall to there, what we're actually doing is we're creating a gap in the top of the wall that's going to allow fire to work its way up behind the drywall. Because otherwise, you know, the drywall's against this top plate here and this stud here, right? But if there's a gap, then the fire can work its way up and get into the ceiling. Problems. People on previous videos were mocking me, oh, plywood doesn't stop fire, wood doesn't stop. Yeah, it does stop fire, genius. Look it up. That's how it works. Does it permanently stop fire? No. If you didn't want your house to burn down, build it out of concrete. But who's doing that? Who can afford to do that, right? So in this case here, we want to reduce the spread of fire or how fast it spreads, right? And by making these minor adjustments and thinking these things through, we can make sure that our clients always get out safe. or at least have the most amount of time to get out safe. Okay, so we are now downstairs and it is nice and clean and organized, which I love to see on a Friday afternoon. Everything is looking good, clean, organized. We have our low voltage going to the future TV location over yonder. We've also got power, so that's all looking just lovely. Continuing through here, shear wall, all good to go, blocked out. We've got all of our mechanical stuff hanging in the ceiling above. Coming in here, I have no idea what this room is going to be called now, so just call it another room. But yeah, in good shape. And here's the plywood from all of you plywood haters. This is where that was shot. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back and look in the video catalog. All sorts of people talking trash about me and plywood stopping fire. They're just misinformed. I can't help it. Can't help it. Plywood helps save lives. It does. A couple wires for you. So these ones here, right? These thick ones are all your Cat 6E, right? Now, fun fact for those of you that are not already aware of this is on most wire and most pipe is written what it is. It also tells you what foot of wire is from the box, so that as the technicians are pulling it, they know how much they have left. The very beginning of the label, category 6E. So that's Cat 6E twisted pair. So that is going to be good enough to get us up to gigabit internet. And that Cat 6E, that's 4 twisted pairs of wire. So there's 8 wires in Cat 6E. This is alarm wire, and so in this stuff, there's typically 2 or 4 wires, and that's just because they simply need to basically conduct an on-off switch for any sort of, sensor, like magnetic sensors on the windows and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what this is about. So this is all of our alarm stuff up here. I'm guessing that's maybe for a keypad. That's probably for how the alarm panel communicates with the rest of the world through the internet access. This had to get reworked because of the way that the mechanical area was working out. So that's why that's like that. What a great, great, great basement. Like, it's just awesome. Really, really awesome. But I mean, we're in good shape, right? I feel like our walkthrough on Monday, if I'm being so bold, might be a little bit early. It feels like there's still quite a bit of meat to chew on this bone before it's ready for us to do an inspection, but it's looking real good. Looking real good. Listen, I know you have so many other things you can be doing with your time, and I am so grateful you've made it this far in this video, and I am so thankful you're here. If you are thinking about building a custom home like the one behind me, or if you're a more modern person or a little bit more West Coast content, it doesn't matter. We can build whatever you want. We are professionals, we are awesome, and we really do a great job for all of our clients. In the meantime, hit the like and subscribe buttons because, hey, I'm just trying to get internet famous over here, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome. Bye now.